well, we might as well move on to Dublin then, because this is looking like a much more interesting contest for mine. I think it's the last 3 games the All Blacks played in Dublin, been a 12-point win, a famous 2-point win with Cruden kicking goal from the sideline, and obviously the loss in 2018 last time the All Blacks went to the Viva Stadium. So it should be pretty exciting. I guess with the starting point here, obviously the team hasn't been officially named at time of recording, but you must be expecting it pretty much to be that 15 that ran out at the Millennium Stadium a couple of weeks ago, Richard.
Yeah, and I think that team we saw against Italy's sort of proven that. As we said, no one's really sort of stepped up and really put their hand up and said, hey, I deserve this jersey more than this person. So, yeah, you expect to see, Bowden at sort of 10. Depending on the fitness of the halfbacks, TJ will probably be at 9, and there's another halfback who's in the squad now who might see on the bench. With Sam Cane, he's still sort of easing his way back, isn't he? So he'll probably.
Yeah, it's hard. That's him and Moanga are the 2 real big question marks. I'd say they were probably the incumbents before missing footy, but I don't think you can toss Bowden out of the 10 jersey where he's playing. And then
Moanga didn't really do.
Yeah.
And if he'd had a really good game last weekend, maybe, but.
Yeah, Kane is probably the bigger question mark. Just Dalton Papali's probably not putting up as strong a case as Bowden is in that jersey. And then you've got the question with where do you want to play Artie? I mean, Luke Jacobson probably wasn't his best game on Sunday, but he's been a monster all rugby championship. Same with Akira Ioane. I don't know. Is that? So do you think Kane will get the 7 jersey, Fisky?
I don't. No, I think they'll stick with the team that did the job for them, and possibly with Dane Coles included on the bench. The team that did the job from a fortnight ago in Wales. I think that was it was a tough game, and it was played under tricky conditions with the atmosphere and Wales putting up a fight. And I thought Bodie was awesome, and the experience in the side got them through that. I think they'll reward them by playing in Dublin. I don't see an advantage by rushing him back. And no, I don't think it'll be fair on the side. I actually think they'll go with almost an identical team as they did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I hope to see that as well, because I think that team was coming close to hitting their straps. And apart from maybe Kane, Smith, once they get back closer to full fitness, it's pretty much as good as it's going to get. You're our expert
on the same note, I think Ireland was super impressive last weekend. I didn't join the podcast, sadly, but I was all over. I gave Japan a really big hope. I actually liked Italy at the plus and liked Japan at the plus, so I got 1 from 2. And Japan were blown away, and they're no mugs. And Ireland were very classy, and I think they'll be unchanged as well. I think it's 2 sides in pretty good form, with great recent record against each other. I don't see much in this. I'm really excited, and the second rows or the locks for Ireland, their back row. I think Sexton's finding a bit of that form. I think a bit of rest has done him good. So they're strong across the park.
Yeah, no, I expect them to put up a real big fight. I think for me, one of the areas to look at, we sort of touched on the rush or Russian, if you live based in Sydney, defence that the Italians threw at the All Blacks on Saturday that did seem to cause them a few problems. And obviously a lot's changed since the last time the All Blacks went to Dublin. No, Joe Schmidt is a massive loss for any rugby team, but it's still an Andy Farrell defence, and that was probably one of the hallmarks of that victory in 2018 for Ireland, was they were just in the All Blacks' faces. They didn't give them any time. I think probably an enduring image for me is just Brodie getting smacked behind the advantage line by about 3 guys whenever he tried to carry the ball. You must be expecting that similar sort of game plan from them on Sunday morning, Richard.
Yeah. I mean, after what we saw, Italy, I mean, it was against the B team, but we sort of saw Italy kind of startle that B team a little bit, or quite a bit, and on the weekend. So they'll remember that win from 2018, and they'll be out to sort of do their best to repeat that.
Yeah, for sure. Ironic you'd say remember, because I don't think there'd be as much Guinness drunk in Dublin on one night as there was that night.
I was watching the replay of it before, and you can hear the fields of Athenry in the background, and you do love to hear it, eh? Just they're passionate Irish fans. And do we know what the story is in capacity?
I think that's back to normal. Yeah.
So there'll be a full stadium. The crowd will be loud, so that'll no doubt play into it. We're hopefully set for a cracking game of rugby.
So were there any?
It's a good point you raise about the defence. I think, 2 of the All Blacks worst losses, I guess, or most disappointing losses in the last 3 years were against sides that really put pressure in defence. I think England in the World Cup semi-final and South Africa recently in Queensland, where All Blacks just don't seem to handle that extra pace under pressure, and it's a lack of sort of close games. They do go to water a little bit, so I've got no doubt in the world that's going to be Ireland's game plan, and it's up to the All Blacks to respond. And they haven't really responded well. There's no plan B if they're getting rushed out wide, not looking to pick people up back on the inside. I think hopefully they've done a bit of work there. I'm worried about it though.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see. I think David Villiers, if he can get back to that ball running sort of role he was playing early on, you can use him as that switchback runner and get Bodie going out wide, but at least put the defence in two minds with a couple of. I think that could be a big key. But yeah, like you say, Ireland, obviously they're going to be incredibly well drilled. They've been running that same defensive system for the better part of 7 or 8 years now since Farrell joined Schmidt. But was there anything else that jumped out to you watching the Japan game, Fisky? Little nuggets Ireland could build on for this week, or maybe areas the All Blacks could attack?
Yeah, look. Where they attack, I'll be going straight at that channel with Bundy Aki. I do not rate him in the slightest. He's a flat track bully. I think he'll know that. He'll know that coming up against his countrymen that he can't intimidate people like he does potentially against Northern Hemisphere side. So I'd be going that channel there in the back line, because I think their pack. They've got 3 Kiwis, haven't they? Jamison, Gibson Park. He actually put in a lovely kick for a try. I think it's their pack is their strength. So really strong and fast back row. Terribly reliable at the line out, like very reliable there. They're Ryan and Byrne. And the scrum's pretty solid. So All Blacks need to be going not too wide, but just shifting it either side of the ruck, about 2 passes. So that'd be my channel, trying to get between 12 and 13, get in behind them a bit, because if they take them on in the pack, it's just not going to work out well.
Yeah, I think you got to move them around, right? It's sort of the same as the Springboks. You can't let that defensive line get set up and be flying up in your face. There's a lot of great sort of defensive stalwarts there, but maybe not the most athletic if you get them out around the park. So that would be, for me, what I'd be trying to do. I don't know, is there anything else you think the All Blacks should be working on this week, Richard?
Nah, yeah, just you guys have summed it up pretty well, I reckon. They'll want to make sure that if that Russian defence is he got me, Fisky. If that Russian defence is really coming up, they've got that plan B, and I don't know, maybe with I remember sort of Richie Mo'unga in the the semi-final of the World Cup against England. He didn't handle it too well, so maybe if Bowden's there, he might be able to have a bit more control. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just looking forward to it. It'll be a great game.
Sure. I take it you obviously rate Ireland as a whole, Fisky, and pretty keen on chances. Are we a chance of seeing another upset here, or are you more looking at maybe that 1 to 12 area, looking at the early markets?
I can see an upset. Yeah, I'm not tipping as my best bet or anything, but I marked this as about a flat 7 start, and we're sitting there at 9.5. So I'll be on the plus. But I don't think I'll take New Zealand 1 to 12, because I think Ireland could win it too. I'll just take the plus. And I think New Zealand will resort to a more conservative style, like getting behind them, a bit more kicking, and I don't think they can bully them like they did against Wales at times. So, yeah, this is a contest. This is a real contest. I actually think this week might be tougher for New Zealand than the France game. And I watch France. I think they're not the finished product just yet, and I thought they were a bit sloppy against Argentina last week, whereas Ireland, a bit more experience in that side, and they know how to play New Zealand. So I actually think this is the All Blacks' biggest test of the tour.
Yeah, well, not to get us too sidetracked, but interesting to get your thoughts. I also saw a lot of that France game and sort of thought there was a bit of maybe too many cooks in the kitchen going on with Ntamak, Dupont, and Jalabert all sort of trying to run the show. They're used to obviously being the main man for a lot of the rugby they played, but it seemed like it was sort of that you ever go, I'll ever go situation. So interesting to see what.
Agreed. Ireland have a very, I wouldn't say it's simple, but they've got a very strong and committed game plan, and they stick to it. So they've got skill. They can get it out wide, and they've got pace, but they don't overplay their hand. Whereas, France are a little bit more flighty.
All right. Was there anything that jumped out to you, Richard, when you sort of had a look through the early
Betting-wise,
market?
I see the try scorer markets are up, so I'll probably be having a wee bet on Cody Taylor to score. I think, I presume he'll start at hooker, and just the way that the All Blacks played who've been playing sort of, and the way rugby's played these days. I mean, hookers is just free money really. So I think he was paying about $2.20 or something like that.
240.
Yeah.
240.
Yeah. So have a go at that. Regarding the sort of point start and all that. I think it'll be close, but I can just see the All Blacks edging away at the end. So I'll probably get on the minus. I think that they're, if the games can play into their hands the way that they want it to, as I said, it'll be tight, but they'll score a few tight tries in the forwards, and I can just see them sort of edging away. Not massive, but what is it, 9.5?
Yeah, 9.5. Yeah,
I'll go with that. But if that defence comes up and we don't sort of handle it too well, it could be okay.
Yeah, I think this is a sort of game, right, where if Ireland are going to win, it has to be 14-10, 12-9 sort of situation. Like, I don't think they can win in a shootout.
Yeah, what was it in 2018?
16-9, and the test before that in 2016 at Aviva Stadium after the All Blacks lost in Soldier Field was 21-9. So the last two games in Dublin have both been pretty low scoring. And I think that, Ireland will want to get in that arm wrestle, make it a forward-dominated contest, a lot of set piece, a lot of one-off runners, whereas the All Blacks, they'll have to try and wear Ireland down. And if it's won by, if the scores are in the 20s or 30s, I think that favours the All Blacks, whereas that brings Ireland into the game if you keep it down. So for me, I'm probably leaning towards that 1-12 because, of course, rugby union bonus back is in play as well. So if you do have a winning team and margin bet on the game and your team wins, but by the wrong margin, you'll get your money back as a bonus bet up to $50. So a little extra nugget to keep in mind there for the punters for this game and all four NPC semi-finals, which we'll get onto shortly. But any other last nuggets for the punters either of you two want to pass on before we take a little trip around Europe?
Not in that game. Yeah, I'm just going to be chips in on the plus.